Welcome, welcome. What's up, everybody? This is your boy Keefe, and you are watching the Weekly Ritual Ghost Cult's news show online, streaming live every week and then repeated as well in other places. Great to see you here. Thanks for joining. This is our weekly show where we run down the world of news, pop culture, all kinds of stuff. We hope you enjoy it. Anything related to the world of heavy music and adjacent things, geek culture, all kinds of fun stuff. Let me give you the layout of the show. If you're new here, chances are you might be. Thanks for watching. We cover the features you might have missed this week here at our site and our socials, major interviews, things like that, big feature articles. We do the news rundown, which is basically festival news, followed by new tours, either about to happen or just announced. And then your top stories of the week, as run by me with a little bit of commentary. Talk a little bit about New Music Friday. And then I pull something fun out of my mailbag, unbox a thing, show it to you, and then we skedaddle. Happy Friday to those of you in Europe and on the East Coast. I am based in San Francisco, California. You probably didn't want to know that, but now you do. Let's get on with the show. I have wondrous things to show you, wondrous things. Trying to keep the clackety clacking to a minimum, but I have to call up one more page here for the presentation of the show. What's up? Raquel is here. Orange County, what up? Everybody is here. That's right. That's right. I got some New Music Friday stuff to talk about. What is up? What is up? What is up? The best place to enjoy this show is probably on YouTube, but you might be on another social channel. You can now give us a super thanks on YouTube Shorts, on YouTube videos, super thanks, super chat, anybody that gives us one of those. If you ask me a question, I will prioritize your question. Let me kick my feed on. I got a little ticker here at the bottom. Obviously, again, we are from ghostcultmag.com. We are a daily news, reviews, interviews, concert reviews, festival reviews portal from all over the world. We are in existence for over 10 years, in case you did not know. And this is why we do what we do and all that jazz. So let us bring up the big deal prezzo for tonight. And we're going to, I had a little bit of seltzer going on here. I like to stay hydrated. All right. I'm going to start the week off with a little bit of tough news. Modern Life is war drummer great band, great guy. Cancer sucks. If you can, please help and donate to the GoFundMe. We will link that in the description at the end of the show. But yeah, thank you very much for being here. And, best of luck with everything, Luke. We're pulling for you. Just a little bit of a little self-congratulations here. Ghost Cult, we've been hitting some milestones with our social media. And we hit 500,000 views on YouTube at the end of last year. And YouTube is where we do a lot of our work beside our website. We post our videos here. We do shorts here, news updates, all kinds of things. And we hit 50,000 in just 2 months. In another 50,000 added to that half a million in just under a couple of months in the new year. So thank you to everybody. If you're new here, that's probably why you're seeing this. Thank you for being here and welcoming us into your algorithm life. You could go a lot of places for music coverage. You are here, and we appreciate you. And also, we topped 1,000 uploads, and that's mostly in the last couple of years where we just put out a ton of content. So more to come. Actually, we are like 11 shy on Twitter of 14,000. So anybody who goes and follows us, legitimately follows us on Twitter and actually wants to stay in touch with us and follow us on Twitter, I will send you a prize if you are a 14,000 follower and you stay that 14,000. You don't just follow us to win something and then jet. I'll make a decision after like a week. I'll pick that person who was the 14,000. Hang out with us. Come follow us. And I will send you something, maybe a custom vinyl, a t-shirt, one of my Funkos, a Super 7 toy, something from the world of rock and metal. And if you're already following us, retweet that. Share our account. Let people know. Kicking off the features this week here at the site, usually interviews, sometimes some other stuff. Jesse Frary, who's a relatively new writer for us here at Ghost Cult, interviewed the band Can't Swim. Their new album is out today. Thanks, but no thanks, on Pure Noise record. Cool pop punk band. A little bit of metalcore, rock. Really cool band. Really cool interview with the front man. And check that interview out if you're a fan. You definitely will like this band if you like those genres. Pure Noise is pretty much a label you kind of can't go wrong with. Everything they put out is good. Chris Smalls is here. What's up on Twitch? Papa Smalls, what's up? Lots of fun stuff going on. We're on all the socials simultaneously. At least we're trying. So, all righty. Some tomfoolery is going on over on TikTok. Feel free to spam our live stream with your inane comments. That's cool. Also this week, we had an interview. Finally, I am not doing all the interviews here. We have some help. Duncan Evans over in the UK interviewed Villy Vallo, who has gone solo. You know him as the former frontman of the band Him. He is carrying on the legacy of Him with his new project VV for Villy Vallo. His brand new album, Neon Noir, is out now on his own Heartagram Records. You know the Heartagram is the heart pentagram logo. And it's an incredible interview. I got to be honest, it's not done by me. And I'm just biased, but it's a great interview. Ville and Duncan chop it up all about songwriting and Villy's, the end of Him and what inspired him to get started with a solo career and exactly how he went about it. It's super interesting stuff. I don't think he's talked about with anybody else. So it's super cool if you like the music of Villy Vallo. I think we've got a little more Ville news coming up later, but very cool. I did an interview. We ran our interview that I did a few months ago with Joel O'Keefe of Airborne. I'm Keefey and he's O'Keefe. It was really funny. What a wild man. Airborne is one of the best bands in the world live and a killer rock band from Australia. They have been on tour for months and months. They finally got out of their own country after the last couple of years and just tore up the whole world. Europe, South America, UK, America, and back again. And we're looking forward to more new stuff from Airborne, possibly some new music in the future, and a lot more touring. Very fun interview. And what a great guy. Him and his brother, two of the linchpins of the Airborne guys. Also, if you like podcasts, this show will be a podcast over the weekend, but also we have some of our interviews run on the podcast, and we do some special things only for the podcast. And one of those things is my monthly session with my senior editor, Stephen Tovey. He is over in the UK, and he runs the entire reviews team. I will write an occasional review here at Ghost Cult, but really the reviews are done by a complete team of writers from all over the world. Steve manages all of them and occasionally chips in his own review. And Steve and I get together once a month on a podcast, and we nerd out and we talk about the month that was and the releases that came out already. And we forecast the metal and rock, mostly, reviews of the month to come. So we got together and talked about the releases that just happened and all the ones coming out in March. And it's a huge month for releases. We're really ramping up all the releases. Another podcast you will find here at ghostcultmag.com is the Heavy Business Podcast, brought to you by C Squared Music Marketing. They are friends of ours. I have been a guest on the show. Their podcast is amazing. They talk to music industry insiders to give free advice to bands on how to improve their fortunes in the business, especially heavy music, which is their specialty. So super cool. Another podcast I am part of because I don't have enough to do, is the Glacially Musical podcast, like pour beer, metal, swearing, vinyl, and so much more. And this week we started a brand new series. We usually do deep dives of bands and their careers, and we are doing an entire run through of all the full-length albums from Baroness. And we started with their past history, their formation, and all the way through Red Album. So you definitely want to check that out. If you love Baroness, we do an analysis of the whole record. We drink craft beer. We nerd out. We talk a little bit of news and other fun things. So yeah. Hey, Blake Webb. Hey, Fierce Deity. Nice to see you over on the TikTok, you don't stop. Instagram, TikTok, Twitch. We're doing all the things today. We're doing all the things. On to the news rundown in one more second, but a feature we had this week. You know this album is ubiquitous. You know this band is everywhere. It's not just because of some battle between two old geezers. Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd turned 50 years old on March 1st. And my podcast partner there, Nick Cameron from the Glacially Musical podcast, contributed a guest column because he is a world-renowned expert on Pink Floyd, and he went deep on Dark Side of the Moon and why it's so important, not just because it's a hit record, not just because it's a ginormous selling record, not just because it's Pink Floyd's arguably best record. A lot of people love The Wall. I love Wish You Were Here, but Dark Side of the Moon, one of the best records ever, and he talked about why. Now on to the festival news. Here's the news rundown, festivals, tour dates, and major news. Welcome to Hell is kicking off next weekend, and it is a banger. Venom Inc., Enforcer, Left to Die, which is the death tribute band, and so many more bands. So killer, so killer. Look at this poster. If you're watching on Twitch, Facebook, or YouTube, I think you can see the whole presentation. But if you're hanging with us on TikTok and Instagram, you kind of just see in my mug, which is, unfortunate. Cheers. Mexico Metal Fest has added a bunch of new bands, including Emperor and Killswitch Engage. This is going to take place late in the year. This year, Lamb of God is also a headliner. Blind Guardian, Septic Flesh, Triptychon, Leprous, Primal Fear, Abbot, Enslaved, Vader, so many, Flotsam and Jetsam, so many cool bands. Got to get down to Mexico Metal Fest at some point. Mexico Metal Fest 7. They've had 7 of these things. Thank you, Raquel. I enjoy being here. And we haven't done a podcast or anything in a long time. Maybe we should make some plans for that this spring. Things are crazy right now. Just trying to squeeze in stuff. Believe me. I've been up since very early in the morning, interviewing bands, full day of work, made dinner. Now this live stream. Later on, I got more stuff to do. Wild. When do I sleep? I'm so tired. Oh, welcome to Hell. We did already. Mexico Metal Fest. Pulse of the Maggots, which has been an online live stream concert during the live stream event brought to you by Slipknot's NotFest.com. They have announced a showcase at South by Southwest. Most rock and metal fans may be unaware, or underground music fans may be unaware, but South by Southwest is the music conference. Every year it takes place in Austin, Texas. It's music, it's technology, it's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. They invade Austin, Texas. I've always wanted to go. I haven't really ever been. I've only been to Texas twice, and not for this, and not to Austin, unfortunately. But Pulse of the Maggots is having a showcase at South by Southwest, and it's going to include Callous Cowboys, Escuela Grind, Soul Glows, the Homies in Creeping Death, Military Gun Victims, and maybe some more. I don't know if they're going to add more to that, but it looks absolutely crushing. So you get your metal on if you take part in South by Southwest, at least a little bit. Usually there's a few metal showcases that happen at the South by Southwest Festival. All right. Hello, Sybil 001. Oblivion Access has announced their second wave of bands, including Faust, celebrating 50 years, Clipping, Godflesh, Tuster, Trust, so many bands. and this is just the second wave. There's going to be at least, I think, one more big announcement. This is coming up in May. So many festivals and events happening in May. So many tours happening this spring. It'll make your head explode. It will make your head explode. Heavy Psych Sounds Fest in Italy coming up in late April has announced its day splits. We've already got Heavy Psych Sounds coming up in California on 2 dates, 2 festivals, Joshua Tree and San Francisco, both 2-day festivals. But here's Italy's day splits, and it's pretty badass. Happening in Bologna and Torino in consecutive days. Basically, one lineup plays one day, one lineup plays the next. They switch towns. Very cool. Conan, Nick Oliveri from Caius and Queens of the Stone Age and Stoner, Beelzebub, Black Rainbows, Geobia, who just announced a new album, Dead Smoke, Mr. Bison, Nebula, Stone Jesus, Mesa, arguably the most important modern stoner doom band there is, Grayon, Isaac, Lord Elephant, Space Paranoids, many others. Very cool. Get yourself to a city in Italy and stoner doom out if you can. Copenhagen has announced the addition of Unto Others, who booked a whole European tour, but they're also going to play Copenhagen. That's taking place in October this year in, of course, Copenhagen, Denmark. Headlined by Dog Eat Dog. Who's the king? Who's the king? Who's the king? Hoo-ha! Dog Eat Dog, amazing. I interviewed Nasty Dan Nastasi recently. Me and That Man, Hate Sphere, Skull Club, many others. Copenhagen, very cool. Congrats to Unto Others, continuing to rule the last few years. They put out a surprise album just recently. Pretty cool. You should check that out. Some California bands, Def Club has kicking off a California-centric tour starting next week. Def Club's a noise rock, punk rock, hardcore, avant-garde band from San Diego. Killer band. That EP out not too long ago. Killer stuff. Full-length album also not too long ago. Necrot, who will be recording and releasing a new album hopefully by the end of the year or early 2024. They are doing a headline tour, mostly of the West Coast, but also the Western states. And I am super pumped for that. We actually interviewed Chase, their drummer, who's also in the band Mortuous, for that band. Coming up, you'll see that on the channel in a few weeks. Takes us a little time to turn these interviews around. We do a lot of them, and it takes us a little while. You got to, it's a lot to run these channels, do these interviews, have them edited professionally by our producer, Omar Cordy. Hats off to you. Hats off to the whole staff and the team who do everything they do. I am just one guy. But yeah, we have a tremendous contribution from a lot of other people. Moving right along, we mentioned Ville Valo earlier. He is currently on tour. He's about to hit the UK. He's got major metal festivals coming up this summer. He's hoping to announce the US after that. Very exciting stuff. But catch him on tour if you're in Western Europe. Ville is hitting your town soon. The Who just literally announced tonight, right before I went to go record, Rumble of Thunder European tour dates taking place this summer. It looks UK and Europe. I know they're different now. It's up Opium Inc. So very cool stuff on The Who. They recently won the first band ever to get a UNESCO designation as a significant emissary of their country and from Mongolia. So shout out to them. Great work, and great work by their label and their PR team. Just have to shout them out. I also like to go to shows in Southern California when I'm down there. The last show I saw in Southern California was the Devo Farewell Tour, which was amazing. And no regrets. Waterboys have announced a tour of Europe. Killer rock band. They're starting that off in Lisbon next week. And they are running through the end of April just about. So very cool stuff. Kiss! We knew we had to talk about this. Kiss's image even fills up the whole slide here on our deck. Kiss has announced their final shows ever. It's the final countdown. Do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do. I don't know. I think, can Kiss continue to play residencies and one-offs and festivals and go play Dubai for $2 million like they did once before? Sure. But they claim that Gene and Paul, they're in their 70s. They're not going to tour anymore like the way they have been. They announced their final few shows in New York City. I know some people felt like it should have been at Yankee Stadium or Shea Stadium. Kiss's very first life-affirming major thing was that they played Madison Square Garden. It wasn't, they were not an instant overnight success. They actually were a struggling band for the first few years. And, still 50 years of Kiss, 50 years since they formed. And they're going to go out in New York City, in their hometown, their original hometown. I have a feeling there will be additional shows added either before or after those dates. But, Kiss coming to the end, supposedly. Farewell tour. We'll see. We've heard this before, but it does seem like they are breaking down, slowing down, and stopping for good. I'm glad I can say I saw Kiss when they were still good, and I saw Kiss with Peter and Ace, so that's pretty cool. On the first reunion tour, I didn't get to go see them when I was a little kid, but I have been a Kiss fan my whole life, so I'm good. Get on out of here and do something else with your lives, guys. You got plenty of money. All kinds of stuff. All right. Today is Bandcamp Friday. As we speak, I believe it's officially going to be Bandcamp Friday in an hour and a half after this recording is done. If you have a Bandcamp page, find our posts on social media, drop your link. We will follow you. We will play your music. We might buy something. I love Bandcamp Friday. Bandcamp has playlists now, creeping up on Spotify, and obviously Bandcamp is an actual way for bands to make money, to actually get paid. I like Bandcamp Friday a lot. Bandcamp Friday. I'll say it again. Bandcamp Friday. Drop your links. Let us know who you are so we can support you. And support your friends. And if you don't have a band, find a band you like and share their Bandcamp Friday. Metallica, because every day is a Metallica day. Metallica dropped a brand new single, If Darkness Had a Sun. Metallica put their tickets on sale for their world premiere of their new album happening April 13th, the day before it officially drops in theaters. Tickets are probably going to sell out pretty quick, but you can still get yours. I believe it's going to be AMC's and other theaters are going to have it. And it's put on by Trafalgar Releasing, that always does the big movie integrations with bands and live concerts and things. Metallica, lots of stuff in the Metallica world. But I like especially how Metallica, hey, Serpent Conjuration is here. I like how Metallica is so big. They actually have merch for each single they're dropping. Wild. Absolutely wild. Unbelievable. We will never see their likes again, probably, whether you hate them or not. Metallica, I think the Black Album this week made it 700 weeks that it was on the charts, whether that means anything to you. They still sell 5,000 to 6,000 copies of the Black Album every week. Who's buying this thing? Who hasn't heard Men or Sandman and Nothing Else Matters? All right. Deftones surprised the world with a merch drop with Marc Jacobs' fashion brand Heaven. I think the spelling is questionable. I think I've seen it spelled Heavn. This poster says Heaven, the correct spelling. But Deftones played a secret show tonight in New York. You had to get on a waiting list on the Dice app, which sells tickets to concerts. And they had a really last second announcement. They played a Music Hall of Williamsburg, right where I used to live in Brooklyn. I now live in California, in San Francisco. They apparently played a pretty old school set, including some stuff they had, not so much old school, but rarities. Stuff they had, 2 or 3 songs they haven't played in 8 to 10 years. So that's really cool if you were there at the concert at Music Hall of Williamsburg. Holds, I'm going to say 800 people tops. Can't even be, not even 1,000, maybe with the balcony full. I don't think so. And if you look carefully and you freeze this video, if you're on one of those channels where you can freeze a video and it's not a live stream, you might notice at least more than one Moreno in this picture frame up of them wearing the merch. So, Deftones fans, if you can afford some merch, very cool. It's a very expensive merch. Not quite Balenciaga and Rammstein $800 for a fanny pack and a hoodie, but it ain't going to be cheap. That goes on sale tomorrow, the clothing line, in case you were wondering. Megadeth. Somebody pointed this out on Twitter. It's like very strange how Megadeth and Metallica's news always overlaps. It's wild. But yes, Megadeth had a huge week. As we talked about last week on the show, Megadeth played Japan this weekend, their first shows of 2023, and at Budokan, the infamous, world-famous Budokan in Tokyo, they reunited with Marty Friedman for 3 songs. He joined the whole band, so him, Dave Mustaine, and Kiko Loureiro all played guitar at the same time, and they played Countdown to Extinction, which they haven't played in 10 years. They played Tornado of Souls, which is always a banger, and I think they played one more song I can't remember, but it was super cool. I saw the live stream. I watched the band interact with Marty and hang out with him. Everybody was mad cool and humble. They all said nice things about each other, and I especially like Dave Mustaine, like checking on Kiko's feelings to make sure he was cool that Marty was going to come jam with them. He doesn't want to offend his current guitar player. And it was really nice, man. I would have liked a little shout out to Nick Menza. Rest in peace. But no complaints. The concert was awesome. The live stream event was phenomenal. I would definitely pay for another live stream event from Megadeth. It was great. Absolutely well done. Like an hour of behind the scenes stuff and then a whole concert for an hour and a half. Fantastic. No notes. Lizzo, you guys are really upset about this one this week. Lizzo is on tour in Europe. Somebody tried to criticize concert posters are usually very regional. We see like the poster of the whole tour or a festival, but concert posters of pop music are very regional, like the German tour, the UK tour, the European tour, the Japan tour, the tour of Southeast Asia. So Lizzo's on tour in Europe, and she played in Hamburg, Germany. And she covered Du Hast as part of her set by Rammstein. And people were in their feelings about a pop star covering Du Hast. The band played it. She sang it. She headbanged. She twerked. It was pretty cool. Her backup singers were harmonizing the Du Hast line behind her, which I thought was wonderful. Don't be so mad about things. Like she clearly was appreciating Rammstein. She knew the German audience was going to get that she got, that they are a huge band in Europe and obviously the native band of Germany, one of the native bands of Germany. I thought it was cool. People in the comments were horrible. Please don't come to our social media channels. We talked about this last week about Jelly Roll. I'm a chubby person. I've been around mammal individual my whole life. I've struggled with my weight and been picked on and bullied about it. I never even wanted to be on camera, to be honest with you. I don't consider myself an influencer. I feel like we are influential, but I'm not an influencer per se. I don't feel like that applies to me. But at the same time, here we are. We out there. We out here, whatever the kids say. So don't come to our channel and just shit on Lizzo or make comments about her body image and things like that. That's gross and just makes me want to ban you. And these same people will come back today and drop a link on our Bandcamp Friday stuff and, think that I won't. I am not requesting any music, but if you want to, again, drop your links. If you have Bandcamp, find our social media posts. They will be everywhere. I think the only place we don't have one right now, because I'm live, we don't have our Bandcamp Friday post yet on Insta or TikTok, but we will in a few hours. In no time at all. But Lizzo, good job, in my opinion, covering Rammstein. Tribulation just dropped a brand new cover, a cover of Blue Oyster Cult's track, Vengeance, the Pact. Tribulation's got an EP coming out, Hamartia. They dropped a recent single that's an original. Tribulation's in the middle ground between albums, and they wanted to do something. I think a lot of bands are going in this direction. Let's put out a short record in between the longer releases. So very cool. Very cool for Tribulation. Great band. Put out an incredible album about a year ago. Kind of got overlooked at the end of the year for the album of the year stuff, but they're always a fantastic band. This is a fun band. GXTP put out a brand new music video for their song Contraband featuring Tommy Lee of Motley Crue. And the video is like a rock band, hard rock band with 2 lead singers. And the video is a tribute or kind of pays homage to Tropic Thunder. It's a pretty hilarious movie. I think you'd have a hard time making it today with everybody's sensitive feelings, but the video is pretty damn good. The song's pretty banging. And I thought I would call this out. I don't want to show the video and get demonetized, but I definitely wanted to share the awareness of this very cool band. Fear Factory has had quite a week. As you know, we attended the Static X tour. The kickoff date of that tour is supposed to have Fear Factory as well. They missed the first date due to the freak snowstorms in California. And they missed the first date. They did recover to play the next date of the tour. And they had their first show ever with their new singer, Milo Silvestro, who is amazing. I saw the videos. He sounds great. I was really hoping to catch that show in person. Didn't happen, but he sounds amazing. Good job, Dino. Looks like you picked the right guy. And, that show was incredible without Fear Factory. I can only imagine how much better it's going to be with Fear Factory. And as they played their first show, they announced that Pete Weber of Havoc is going to fill in on the tour for Mike Heller. You might know Mike is a world-renowned drummer from bands like Malignancy. He's done a ton of session work, death metal, all kinds of stuff. He is officially the Fear Factory drummer, but he has other commitments and he cannot make this tour. Pete is a killer drummer. I don't know if you know the Denver thrash band Havoc, but Pete is the longtime drummer of that band, and he is going to do drum duties, sit behind the kit for Fear Factory for this entire tour. He posted a video of him jamming Demanufacture, and it was tight. I loved it. Good stuff. Fear Factory also announced a hometown show in Los Angeles at the Whiskey A Go-Go. Lions at the Gate will open. That is the band now featuring Christian, formerly of El Nino. Great stuff. Cradle of Filth is going to be dropping a live album. They dropped a new single, She Is Fire. Maybe only their second live album ever. Cradle of Filth is about to kick off a tour with Devil Driver. Very cool stuff. Co-headline tour. And that tour, I believe, kicks off in California next weekend. So cheers to Devil Driver and Cradle of Filth on that tour. Good luck and be safe. Here's an interesting thing. This has been going around a lot. We've been talking a lot about music industry stuff. We talked about Live Nation last week, where they are under investigation from the U.S. government about their practices. They have too much of a monopoly. And one of the things a lot of people are up in arms about is merch cuts. And there's a lot of talk going on about this from bands, from venues. And so some of your major venues take a cut of concessions. Now, this is, if you're looking on screen on YouTube and Twitch and Facebook, Monument shared their receipt of their evening. And I know that it's very easy to get confused about the VAT, which is the tax for Europe. But, throw that out for a second. They had to give a 25% of their merch cut of the night, or $212 in local currency, which is, not insignificant, 1/4 of your money. People in the UK also were complaining about Gojira. I don't know if you can see this. Some angry fans posted the Gojira merch prices as being astronomically high. They don't seem that high to me for a major band playing a major venue that costs a lot of money and takes a lot of their money. So to make and break even, so touring is viable for a lot of bands, they have to charge more money. But I don't actually think these prices are unfair or that high. Yes, I would like them to be cheaper. Yes, Gojira is like a very, seemingly anti-capitalist band with a lot of, care about the earth and a lot of things like that. But, animal friendly and stuff like that with the Sea Shepherds and things. But yeah, I mean, the bands are not in control of setting these prices. A lot of times you'll go to see like Rob Zombie. I'm not going to single out Rob Zombie, but let's say you go to see Rob Zombie and the opening band on that show may not be as big a band as Rob Zombie, but they have to sell their shirt for the same amount of money as Rob Zombie. Those are just rules that come with the touring business. I'm not saying they're good. I had somebody else that was like, why don't you stop promoting Live Nation? It's like, I don't want to promote Live Nation, but in America, they have all the venues. They own all the marketing. They have all the billboards. They promote all the tours. They sell all the tickets. we would have nothing to talk about if we didn't talk about shows that happen in Live Nation venues. So it's tricky. I will also say, full disclosure, we used to take advertising money from Live Nation, and we did so to help promote Wardruna, who's an underground band that is very popular. So, these things are challenging to everybody in the industry. Don't blame the bands when the merch is expensive. There are other ways to support those bands. If you don't buy a merch at the show, buy it from them online. I think Monuments said they would not be participating in any more merch cuts, and they would actually not sell merch at some of their shows in other parts of Europe, and other bands also jumped in and said that too. So, then go to their Bandcamp and buy something, or buy something before you go on tour, pre-order your merch from their website or buy it after the tour. You may miss out on something you want though, but these are the challenges. I'd love to hear some comments from actual band people and musicians on some of our socials about this. But yeah, this is going on, and I don't know what's going to curtail it. Zozobra is dropping a 10th anniversary edition of one of their classic albums here, Savage Masters. This is going to be in tribute to Caleb Schofield, who died a few years ago. You might know him from his other bands, but Zozobra, killer band, sludge, doom, heavy metal band. And the pre-sale, 50% of the proceeds are going to go to a fund for Caleb's family. And you can get some cool anniversary repressings of vinyl and cassettes and shirts and things over from Brutal Panda, which is the record label handling the reissue. So very cool to get that in the news. Dorothea Cottrell, you might know her as the front person of Windhand, the Richmond, Virginia doom metal band, American doom metal. She has a folk metal, dark folk Americana album coming out called Death Folk Country, and under her own name, Dorothea. And she dropped a new single and a video. I think she's going to tour behind this. Very exciting stuff. See what else. If you guys got any questions or comments, now's the time. We gladly accept a donation, any amount, a super chat, a super thanks over on YouTube. Please help us out. We appreciate it. We are a small business, and we need all the help we can get. Let's see what else is going on. Lords of Dust dropped their debut EP recently. I just wanted to mention this killer band. They got a brand new couple of singles out, including Kicking Up Dust. If you're a fan of Clutch, COC, Queens of the Stone Age, bands like this, Mondo Generator, fantastic band. Definitely check out Lords of Dust from Southern California. Liquid Death. This video is not sponsored, but Liquid Death is an affiliate partner of Ghost Cult Mag. If you buy Liquid Death from their website and use the code ghostcultmag at checkout, you get free merch. We get a little bit of bucks. And they just dropped tea for the first time ever. Grim Leafer, Restin Peach, and Arnold Palmer. These are sweetened with agave. There's an awesome commercial with grannies like setting fireworks out from their junk and doing donuts and rocking out to death metal. Liquid Death. 100% recyclable cans. Now they have tea, spring water, and seltzer. Again, use our code at checkout from liquiddeath.com to get some free merch from Liquid Death and Ghost Cult. We'll have that link in the description as well. We are almost to the end of the news, so I think it's time for the mailbag. I may have screwed the pooch already, but here is the image. This is a very cool thing I got in the mail this week from Theta, I hope I said that correctly, Productions. This is a DIY underground extreme metal, black metal tape company that does small runs of cassettes from bands, and there's a metal Twitter personality and artist that I like following and interacting with, and he's been supportive of Ghost Cult. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy his brand new cassette. And this is Homeskin's new EP. You might know it's Gary. He has bands like Gone Mage and Kaina. He's put out like 40 records in the last 5 years. Guy's unbelievable. 40 releases. So I got this tape in the mail. I took the address off to protect the innocent. It came with like a little squeegee toy. That's cool. I like toys, as you could see if you're watching at home. Let's see what else it came with. I think we got like a little sticker in here. Oh, cool. It's a little tiger kitty, and he's saying, "Hey, there's no need to be so hard on yourself. You're managing the best you can." I feel this very deeply. I don't know about all of you. Hopefully you're all right out there. I'm sometimes not all right. This came beautifully packaged in a little bubble wrap cassette mailer. I don't think I can reuse, but I will try to. And here is, this is the brand new release from Homeskin. I got it on this awesome cassette. These are hand-packed, J-cards folded, dubbed professionally, but everything else is DIY. And again, Homeskin, check it out. This is a very cool release. Again, shout out to you, Gary, for all that you do. He supports a lot of other bands. He is a prolific artist. He is a personality that uplifts people. God Mage on Twitter. Thank you so much for this. And thanks for just being you. Much appreciated. And so you made it to this part of the show. And I just wanted to have this picture of the Mandalorian and Grogu because I'm super hype on the Mandalorian show. Season 3 coming back. If you made it to this part of the show, yeah, that's right, Chris, Papa Smalls, Chris. They broke Amazon. It became the #1 selling beverage on Amazon within 2 hours. Not Red Bull, not anything else. And they sold out and restocked immediately. It was pretty comical, actually. I think it says a lot about their brand. Very smart marketing people. But as we say every week at this juncture of the show, it's a tough time in the world. So please take care of each other. Take care of yourselves. And remember, this is the way. This has been the Ghost Cult Magazine Weekly Ritual. Subscribe if you like what you saw, and we'll be back next week. Thanks.